Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a Powell County family is asking for prayers while their daughter remains unresponsive after a fire. And Perry County continues work to get two schools damaged by the July 2022 flood back in their own buildings.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. The time is 6:30 on Tuesday, March 12th. Now let's send it over to meteorologist Tim Drawbridge for a look at your forecast this morning.
And a happy Tuesday to you, Olivia, and good morning, everyone. If you loved yesterday, you're going to love today. 37 outside our doors here at WYMT. Clear skies as well. As we go ahead and check out the weather headlines, it was a beauty yesterday, and we got another beauty on tap today. Average high is in the mid-50s for a lot of us. We got to keep an eye on tomorrow, though. And it's nothing significant, but when you're forecasting 3-4 days of beautiful weather, you don't want to see Mother Nature come over the top and throw a curveball at you. Yeah, some of the short-term model guidance would like to bring in a shower threat tomorrow afternoon, but we'll talk more about that in a few moments. Temperature-wise right now, some of us are in the mid and upper 20s and close to 30s. The rest of us lower 40s. The colder temperatures not only representing, well, yeah, it's clear everywhere, but our winds have calmed out in your particular part of the state. All right, clouds, nothing close to us unless you're heading up into the southern Great Lakes or out to the west beyond the Mississippi. And yes, some of those high clouds out across the central U.S. will help to filter the sunshine a bit as we head through the afternoon. Looking good this morning, bright. Get the sun visor down in the car, and it stays that way heading through the afternoon with a high of 67. More about your first alert 7-day forecast coming up in a few moments. Olivia?
All right, Tim, thank you. A 1-year-old girl found without a heartbeat is fighting for her life at UK hospital. Keegan Haddix, called Kiki, is on life support after a Powell County house fire. Her father, Austin, got third-degree burns trying to reach her. He and 2 other children who were at home at the time are now out of the hospital. Yesterday, the family gathered to pray for Kiki's recovery. Her grandmother says she's replaying happier memories.
That big smile, and she holds that little finger up and she goes, no, no, no. You know, when you're used to that and then you go to this, it's not easy. And when I go in and I see my own child, her mother, crying, you know, that's not easy neither.
Brown's other 2 grandchildren who were in the home at the time of the fire were recovering at UK Healthcare as well. A suspect is in custody in a murder investigation in Rowan County. 35-year-old Matt Jones is charged with the death of 60-year-old Earl Glover. Kentucky State Police say the 2 were fighting and that Jones hit Glover several times. Glover died at the hospital. New details about a shooting in southern Kentucky that forced 5 schools on lockdown. According to court documents obtained by our sister station, the documents show Pedro Torres pulled a gun during an argument over a 4-wheeler and shot someone. That person was flown to a Lexington hospital. We do not know their name or condition. After an 18-hour manhunt, police found Torres. He is facing several charges, including assault. In Laurel County, a Letcher County man is facing 2 counts of assault after police say he hit a woman in the back of the head and drug her by her hair. It happened last Saturday when sheriff's deputies were dispatched to a home off Line Creek Road. After they arrived, deputies say they heard sounds of people fighting in the home. 30-year-old John Ritchie of Jenkins was taken to the Laurel County Correctional Center. A new study finds more than 40% of Americans know someone who died from a drug overdose. Julie Cyril, a researcher and professor in the College of Social Work at UK, published this study in the American Journal of Public Health. About 42% of those who took part in the study said they knew at least one person who died from an overdose. Nearly 19% said they knew up to 5 people. The study found people living in New England or in the east-south central region, which includes Kentucky, were more likely to know someone who died. As the Mountain Parkway expansion continues, the progress is a good sign for many in the region. But as WYMT's Buddy Forbes shares, the project also includes some proposals that have one Magoffin County widow begging for another way.
Janet Arnett's family sees her Magoffin County property as much more than meets the eye.
When I was growing up, Mamaw's house was always kind of this place of refuge where I could go and we cooked together, and this is where I grew up playing in the creek catching crawdads and catching lightning bugs.
A magical source of hope that looks a lot like a house.
It's a small house, but to me, it's a mansion.
Now Arnett worries the home and life she and her husband Lowell built are about to be demolished.
We don't want her to be collateral damage for a project that has been in the works for years.
The Magoffin-Floyd segment of the Mountain Parkway has a proposed path right through the 63-acre home place that has served generations.
This was our epicenter of our family, and Mamaw's house will always be Mamaw's house, whether it's right where it is or where it's down near the road, but it's tough if Mamaw's house gets bulldozed.
Arnett says the idea of losing her home has weighed on her health, adding it is hard to understand how a different solution cannot be found.
A little farther down that way or a little farther up that way. Why does it have to come through my house?
But every attempt to keep her home on the property she has owned for more than 50 years has been met with a list of development issues and disappointment.
Somewhere on these 63 acres, let her move this house. Figure it out.
So she is left pleading for someone to look past the plan in place and at the people impacted.
I'm 76. You know, I'm not going to be around too much longer, but why can't I stay here in the house, my house?
Holding tight to her hope and even tighter to her home. In Magoffin County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
The family says they support the mission to improve the region, but they believe there has to be a way that doesn't mean Arnett loses everything, saying it is not about the money, but the memories. The process to get two Perry County schools back in their own building continues to move forward. The school district is getting closer to buying a property to build a new school for Robinson Elementary. Administrators say the reconstruction of Buckhorn School will soon be complete. The two schools have been using the old A.B. Combs School since the July 2022 flood. Robinson Elementary Principal Jamie Fugate says they have worked in the best interest of their students.
Buckhorn, they got an amazing staff. They're an amazing community, awesome people. And you know, all their decisions that they make, just like us, are what's the best interest of their kids. So at the end of the day, when you have two staffs and two communities that are trying to do what's the best interest for each group's kids, it's easy.
Administrators say the renovations at Buckhorn will be finished in time for students to return in August. There are 3 finalists vying for Education Commissioner here in Kentucky. One of those candidates is out of our region. The Lexington Herald reports Lawrence County Schools Superintendent Dr. Robbie Fletcher has been in that role for nearly 10 years. Fletcher has also been a principal, assistant principal, and math teacher in the Martin County school system. The 2 other finalists are Buddy Berry and Jim Flynn. A big shakeup in Kentucky athletics. Kyra Elzy is out as the head coach of Kentucky women's basketball. UK Athletics Director Mitch Barnhart announced Elzy was relieved of her duties. Elzy took over the helm, replacing Matthew Mitchell in 2020. She led the team to the SEC tournament title in 2022. Before her 4 seasons as head coach, Elzy served 8 seasons as an assistant coach. In a statement, Barnhart thanked Elzy for her efforts on and off the court. UK Athletics says it will begin a national search for a new head coach. It is a little less than a month to the total solar eclipse, and Kentuckians are preparing to view and see this once-in-a-lifetime wonder. The path of totality includes portions of western Kentucky. Local optometrists are encouraging folks to take the proper precautions so your memorable moment does not become damaging. Central Kentucky Eye Care owner Randall Lambert says folks need to know the risk associated with eclipse viewing.
When you're staring directly at something, those rays are hitting the center part of the back of the eye called the macula. And that if anything damages the macula, you could have a permanent vision loss. And you would see it's going to be a blind spot that may never go away.
In order to safely watch the eclipse, you'll need to look through special purpose solar filters. Lambert says most of the time we do not stare at the sun for too long because it hurts. Regular sunglasses help block the wavelengths that cause pain, but they do not block the ones that damage your eyes.
And a good Tuesday morning to you. Temperatures around the region vary depending on whether your wind has completely calmed out the last couple of hours or not. 25 to near 30 across our southern counties. Some of us across our northern and eastern counties, yeah, lower 40s. Nothing to speak of regarding cloud cover across eastern and southern Kentucky here at the 6 o'clock hour. We got to go all the way north of Indianapolis to find our closest clouds, and west of the Mississippi. It is west of the Mississippi that will have some high clouds come into play as we head through the afternoon. Otherwise, it's lots of sunshine for your Tuesday and a forecast high up to 67 this afternoon. More about the First Alert 7-day forecast as your WYMT Mountain Morning News continues after this.